about the movie itself. I'm going to say 79.
I don't remember if he won Best Actor for this. Did he? He was nominated for sure.
He was nominated.
Okay.
I don't think he was.
Not as good as Ray, in my opinion, but 82%.
I really liked this. 85.
82%.
Woo! Fine, look out. Alright.
All right. Next up, Kristen Stewart and Dakota Fanning starring in the story of Joan Jett's early band, The Runaways. This is 2010.
Oh,
Kristen Stewart plays Joan Jett in this.
I don't think this one was very well
I
received.
feel like Alice is probably the one who was seen.
I actually have not seen the whole thing.
I'm.
Yeah.
You guys ready? I'm going 41%.
I had a wild guess and I said 70. I'm probably way too high.
I said 50 and I feel like I'm too high.
Brian, you're right there, 69%.
Whoa! Whoa!
Really?
A wild guess.
No one liked
That was a
this.
good
Why
guess.
was this movie like? Well, it is interesting where the audience is 55. You normally see the audience higher than whatever the
Because people don't like
tomato meter is.
Kristen Stewart.
All right. I feel like Brian.
That's actually a solid movie. I've seen it. And Michael Shannon. It's one of his first kind of breakout roles. He plays their manager. It's worth the game. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Last movie in the quiz, 1991 Oliver Stone epic with Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison, The Doors.
How did Jim Morrison not win an Academy Award for this?
Val Kilmer?
I mean, Val
Because he was
Kilmer.
dead for
That's how
20
good.
years.
That's how good he was. I thought he was Jim Morrison. He was so good. I love it. I would watch this movie every time it's on. I know it's like very Oliver Stone, but I can't help it. Didn't like this movie. I mean, I know you could have shaved 30 minutes out of it and had a bunch of hocus pocus with Indians and stuff like that. I'm going to say I gotta go bold. I gotta go super bold, otherwise I can't win this thing. I'm gonna go 94%.
I thought it was too much Oliver Stone for the critics. Too long, too much. I said 75. I mean, still good.
I would have thought it was that, but I gotta go bold. Only I can win.
Personally, really liked this movie, but I feel like there are probably critics who didn't like it as much. So I said 82.
53.
Whoa! I went bold the wrong fucking direction.
The audience that gave it an 80.
I feel like
Wow, you got bold the other direction.
I feel like the audience sort of knows most of the time, or at least it evens out. The audience, at least in terms of they're seeing the movie they wanted to see.
I saw it multiple times in the theater, and I had to sneak in.
Oh.
Rated R?
Yeah, and I wasn't 18 yet.
Alright, I think Brian may have got that one, but figure this one out. Bold Brian, 31, just annihilate. Now in second place.
Really?
Wow, your streak continues.
Is this math correct?
Second, oh yes, yeah, I was 40 points off the last one.
Yay!
But you gotta, sorry, if you're 20 off of the leader, you gotta do the half-court shot.
It did work for you.
Yeah.
We should be keeping track of the best. Is that the best anyone's ever done? 31?
It's very
We should definitely keep track of that.
Yeah, there was one quiz where Alice,
Where black.
there was one where Adam got a couple right on the nose.
Thank you. So, that's
The overall score.
That's an average of 6
Fucking heck.
and a little change, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I did get 2 right on the nose. Anyway. So, Matt, how does it work where some of these cable stations work in the Rotten Tomatoes into their, when you pops up, when you hit pause or you hit the movie or land on it? How does that work?
They just build the technology in. We have a feed that runs out, and they can match their database to ours, and then the scores just come up.
Is that a service of the provider, like DirecTV, or is that a service of the channel?
for you. It's not one of these things where I talk to guys on the phone. No, they did it. A refinance with these guys. So, like I said, they can do it for you forever. They give everyone the friends and family rate. It's, like I said, the pros, and rates are still historically low. So, let's let them help you. They're national, by the way, so they can take care of you wherever you are, and they're competitive wherever you are. So whether they want to refinance or purchase, they got you covered. Bridgeview Bank Mortgage Company. Josh?
All loans subject to credit approval. Rates and fees subject to change. Not all loans or products are available in all states. Call 888-524-3452 for details about credit costs and terms. Bridgeview Bank Mortgage, NMLS number 335048, Equal Housing Lender.
Dan,
Adam,
question.
yeah, hey, I was wondering if you followed any of this. Pretty big here in D.C., but U.S. Patent Office ruled that the Washington Redskins name is disparaging of Native Americans, and they're kind of canceled their trademarks.
Oh, interesting. I was just talking to somebody's, I don't know, sports radio show or something about this. I have two feelings about this. One is, I think we can all agree that Redskins not a great term. But the other,
We all agree on one
we
thing.
can all agree on that. Like, we're all split down the middle. It's torn the fabric of this podcast. The whole, would you want to see your dad fucking Janine from high school? That has torn this nation apart. It's really, it's the Mason-Dixon,
So divisive.
literally the Dixon line.
Dixon line.
It's an interesting thing, and we do it a lot. We spend a lot of time talking about stuff that has to do with people that could genuinely use help. I mean, diabetes is a big issue in the Native American community. Poverty is a big issue. Education is a big issue. There's a lot of big juvenile diabetes, a lot of big issues in that community. This is not going to help any of those things. Now, if they want to change the name, they can change the name. But I would like the conversation to be about topics that were actually affecting that community. We do it with a lot of communities. There's real problems that face these communities. We get stuck on this one thing, like should a sports franchise change their name? By the way, when they do, acquiesce. I mean, there's been a million high schools that have changed their names over the last 10 years. Has it helped this population? Are they out of the weeds now? Is everything cool? Like, what has it done? And then so somebody would say, all right, Adam, stop being an asshole. Which they say all the time. Well, so what? So then change their name. But what I'm saying is we have a finite amount of energy and attention to give to things. And what we do, it's really, it's kind of a bullshit move. We focus on something that really is not going to affect this community at all, and it's a struggling community. And again, we do this with many struggling communities. We pick out one thing, we go super hard on it, we focus like a laser beam, we focus on it, and then we act like if this somehow works, all will be right in that community. It's not going to affect that community at all. How do I know? It's been done. It's a million high schools have gone from the Warriors to the Bullfrogs, or the Comanches to the whatever. It's not helping that community. Is Redskins an offensive name? Yes. Is it going to do anything to help the people that are offended by it? Zero. Are there more probably white people offended by it than there are Native Americans? Yes. Thus, it becomes a way for us to feel better about ourselves for what we've done to these people. But if we really wanted to help these people, there are 700,000 modalities we should explore before a professional franchise changes their name. Powerful. Okay. That's what I want to say about that. And why, in 2014, when we have science and graphs and charts and ways to measure things, do we just get stuck on it? Hey, somebody's got to do something about this. Somebody, or what? You want to do something to help these people, there are many, many things you can do. Many things you can do. This might be one of them. It would be way, if I was just making a list and I was a pragmatic atheist that I am, I'd have a whole list of things and this would be near the bottom. Just not change community that needs a lot of help and a lot of changing. All right, let's send Matt packing. RottenTomatoes.com is where you go. Busy Philip, Jason Nash, in studio, next.
Hey everyone, it's me, Allison, from Allison Rosen is your new best friend. I am sitting here with this week's guest, Sarah Colonna. Sarah, why should they listen this week?
Well, I think that I reveal a lot about myself, the haircut that I had when I was in my 20s, the ma'am from Webster, exactly.
You have curly hair, but you got a perm.
Yes, and
I wanted one, even though someone showed me a woman with like poodle hair and said, this is what you'll have. And I said, I don't care, I want it anyway.
yeah, but then you had a divine intervention.
That's right.
Listen, find out about that.
To listen to find out what took me out of perm's harm's way. We also talked about you being on the drill team.
Yes, and I would like for people to tell us what drill team was in their high school, because I'm very confused sometimes by it, and I just don't want to say that I was on the wrong thing anymore, so we need people to listen and then determine what that was in their school.
Yeah, and we talked about how you met your sports boyfriend.
Yes.
Wait, no, we've already had this boyfriend.
I do, actually, that's how I introduced them.
Tell them who he is.
My boyfriend, John Ryan, from the Seattle Seahawks. And now Twitter, so there's a story behind that. And you guys, it can happen to you too, Twitter. Great to have everyone together.
Right, and we talked about how you met Chelsea Handler and your friendship with her and working with her on the show and all that.
Yes, and one of your past guests, Jim Kirkman, how I witnessed her breakdown that she spoke about on your show.
That's right, it involves Monica and alcohol. All right, so you guys make sure to listen. Subscribe to Allison Rosen, who's your new best friend on iTunes. You go to AllisonRosen.com. New episodes every Monday and Thursday. I love you.
Help out and control of safe podcasting for all of us. Donate anything we can at fundanything.com/patcontrol.
Thank you for hanging out with us, Busy Philip. Jason Nash, both here. Jason Nash is married. Is the name of the movie. Dave Keckner and Rob Corddry and Andy Richter, Pat Oswalt, all BJ Miller, who's turning into just a fine actor.
He really is.
Busy Phillips as well. So Jason and I know each other from kids playing the College Y basketball league. Jason coached, and Busy and I go way. But
Oh my God.
You don't age. What were you, 11 when I first met you or something?
I was just telling Jason outside, Seth Rogen and I went on Loveline when we were 19 to promote Freaks and Geeks. It was about to get canceled, and I believe it got canceled the next day. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
We are on Loveline, and I think it got canceled.
Well, that's what I'm going to do for this movie.
What's your magic, Ace?
Jason and I were talking at maybe his birthday party or something at some Chuck E. Cheese, one of the big plays, about...
You guys have to
maybe
take
they
all the aluminum and the poles out in the
We were
wintertime.
at your house. We were at your house. Remember you had the underwater house? You could go
You gotta
downstairs and watch people
take the
swim.
poles out.
Yeah.
Because the ice would wreck it all anyway,
we
wouldn't
talked
it?
about this project, and now,
There
first
we
off,
go.
so
I wanted to in the movie really badly, and so I was trying to watch everything
Do you have
without
to
seeing
reset them,
too,
or is there a place
like,
for
kids
them?
were playing.
I'll do it.
All right. Because my wife was like, don't be too hard.
That's a lot of work, man. I was just thinking of all the work to be here, along with it being so beautiful. It's still a lot of work.
Let's network. So, you raised the money, you wrote the script, this is all you?
Yeah, but used a very little bit of money.
At least it's not all that deep. I like that, that you can walk in here.
There's be no movie without music.
It's available on June 24th digitally, so you can go download it. Amazon, iTunes, Video on Demand, Xbox. I always forget about that. You can pre-order it on Amazon.
We're gonna do a week run in Westwood, I think, luxury movie theater.
Oh, that's cool.
It just opened that one, but the secret.
Yeah.
It's great.
Giving you alcohol.
Your blanket.
It's fantastic. You should.
I love that. I mean, I love the fact. I mean, it is one of those, boy, this is why the terrorist dance. Like it used to be.
Martinis and popcorn.
Why did it take 72 years to figure out we like to get drunk at night, especially when we're in a semi-reclined position watching a movie? Like somebody in the last 4 years went, oh, we should start bringing booze to these guys who don't feel like sitting up and watching things or standing and watching. And now everyone's down with it, but they didn't have it before. These luxury theaters where everyone brought you.
Yeah, it's a great
off with the idea.
Right. You both, then it's that sort of, both, it's the tacit agreement. Kind of looking at funny, kind of go, yeah.
We could do it tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? Buy the tickets online, then we'll, and then tomorrow never.
We have farmers market in the morning, so we are going to have to wake up super early.
These are both of your wives.
Right.
You're married to them.
I like it. But she doesn't want to go. We both want to be married to the person who does go to that movie, but neither one of us
I'm married.
are that person.
Mark is like a real pusher.
He wants to go.
Yeah, fucking go. Show up. It'll be like dinner, sushi in the valley, and there's some fucking party in Culver City, and I'm had too much sake, and I'm like, and we should just go home, and we barrel to Culver City and go to the party. He's like, what's his reasoning? Because I'm a real not show upper, but I need more of what your husband has. Well, he thinks that showing up is like a really important character. I show up, right?
Yeah, you show up. I'm always amazed. That's right. You went to Portland with me.
That's right.
I couldn't believe it.
He asks me to do these ridiculous things, and I show up.